Hi there. Security while living on a boat. Well, I should also include security while living in an RV too, because some of this has a parallel there, and I may refer people to this video when talking about it too. Okay, first of all, when you're on a boat specifically, threats from your fellow man are mostly land-based in the city. Let's face it. That's where most crime is going to be, is right in the city core or whatever, or on the outskirts in a bad area, something like that. So hopefully, if you're living on board a boat, you're not in that area. You're out in either in a marina or you're out traveling. Really, if that's the case and you are out traveling, the threats from your fellow man really take a back seat to the threats from Mother Nature. That's really what you need to be concerned about. Security is really way on the low end of your concerns at that point. But if you are in a marina or living in an RV, there's things to think about. First of all, it is part of the lifestyle. When you're living in a vehicle of any kind, you're kind of hanging out in the wind. That just goes with the territory, and you're just going to have to grin and bear it. It's just part of the lifestyle. I think it's worth it, personally. I live pretty simply, so I'm not a big target. I'm not ostentatious or anything like that, so I'm not one of the people are instantly going to think, oh, there might be something valuable in that RV or that boat. They're going to be after my neighbors or the other people around me. And if I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I'm just not concerned about crime. I'm just not. I'm on Vancouver Island in Canada. It's just, crime is not a huge deal. If it is, it's petty theft. It's, you know what, you set your camera bag down while buying a coffee, forget it, walk out. You know what, you go back a half hour later, you're probably not going to get it back. Somebody's just going to grab it and walk off with it, particularly downtown. You know what, outside of Victoria and some of the smaller towns, you'll probably get it back, actually. Somebody will go, oh, somebody left this, hand it in, and you'll go back and find it again. It really depends on where you are, but by and large, large-scale theft, violent crime, really not a problem here. You know, I could say this and something like that could happen to me just the next day. But, you know, knock on wood, but it's probably not. It's just not in the big scheme of likelihood. Anyway, prevention. You know what, just stay out of high-risk areas. And if you find yourself in that kind of area, leave. You know, particularly when you're planning a long trip on your boat. Work that into your consideration where you're going to stop. If you get stuck stopping in an area that's maybe not so great, cut your stay short. Get out of there. Just don't go. Don't hang around. Get out of there. Best way to deal with a problem is just to eliminate it, avoid it entirely. Another thing is, don't be obvious. You know, leave a light on. Simple stuff like that. And this is a problem with boats that have the padlock style lock that you lock up into the entrance into your companionway or whatever. If you don't have one or have never been on a boat, you're not really going to understand what I'm talking about. People that have them or have been on boats know exactly what I'm talking about. They're nodding their head. Yeah, it's blatantly obvious. When you lock up your boat, there's this padlock hanging there. There's no possible way you could have locked that well inside the cabin. They know you're not in there. So if they think they can quietly break that lock and get in, they will. My suggestion is change that. Go with a different door system. Go with something that they can't tell if you've locked it from the inside or the outside. They know there's a lock on there. They can see it. But you could be inside there. Hopefully you've got it closed up so they really can't be sure. You know what? Chances are they're going to walk off. They'll pick a different target. Perfect. Plus the lock itself is a little bit more secure. Let's face it, a padlock in a clasp, all you need is a long, heavy screwdriver. Just get it in there and twist, and you can be in there in no time. Particularly if that door or whatever is wood, they're probably going to get in seconds. So it's better to maybe go with a stronger locking system if that's a concern. Another thing you can do is get a dog. If that fits with your lifestyle or whatever, you know what? That's a really good deterrent. A dog barking gets rid of most problems like that. I don't personally do that. But if I were in the situation where I didn't work and stuff like that, yeah, I'd totally have a dog. That'd be perfect. I don't have enough room for one anyway. It'd be a little tight in here. I'd want a pretty decent sized boat or RV before I did that. If I had a decent sized Class C and I was parked most of the time and wasn't driving all over the place, I would totally get a dog. It would make perfect sense. Another thing is, don't be ostentatious. And you know what? Live simply. If you know what, if you lose everything, you didn't have that much to start with to lose. So you know what? That's, don't be a visible target. I've kind of already addressed that or whatever. Anyway, hopefully that answers the question, and I want to try and answer it and not sound abrasive about it, particularly when I'm saying, it comes with the lifestyle, and if you can't, if the security risk frightens you, then maybe you just shouldn't do it. And I don't want to come off sounding harsh, but it does kind of go with your territory. So you really got to sit down and think about, is this right for you? And you know what, if you do feel it's risky, but you still want to do it, you know what, again, might be a healthy thing for you to kind of stretch your legs and do it. And realize that, you know what, maybe it's not too bad, and maybe if you're careful, that you can take a little bit of risk in life. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question a little bit, and if I've missed anything or you have further questions, please do leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to them as soon as I can. Anyway, from Vancouver Island, have yourself a good one.